Motivation is a liar. It shows up when things are easy. It shows up when you're excited. But the moment life gets difficult, motivation disappears. And that's exactly why most people never achieve their goals. The people who succeed aren't the most motivated. They're the most disciplined. Today, you'll discover why discipline beats motivation every single time. Every year, millions of people make promises to themselves. They promise they'll get fit. They promise they'll stop procrastinating. They promise they'll finally chase their dreams. For a few days, they're excited. They wake up early. They make plans. They feel unstoppable. But then something happens. The excitement fades. The alarm clock becomes harder to ignore. The workouts become more painful. The work becomes repetitive. And suddenly, the motivation that felt so powerful is nowhere to be found. This is where most people quit. Not because they're incapable. Not because they're not talented. But because they were relying on motivation. And motivation was never designed to carry you all the way to success. Motivation is a feeling. And feelings are temporary. Some days you'll feel inspired. Some days you'll feel exhausted. Some days you'll feel confident. Some days you'll doubt yourself. If your success depends on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Think about it. Have you ever watched a motivational video and felt like you could conquer the world? Maybe you told yourself that this time would be different. Maybe you created a new schedule. Maybe you set ambitious goals. For a moment, everything seemed possible. But a few days later, you were back to your old habits. Not because your goals weren't important, but because motivation faded. And when it disappeared, you had nothing left to keep you moving forward. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up when you're tired. It's working when you'd rather rest. It's choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. And that's what separates successful people from everyone else. Look at athletes. Look at entrepreneurs. Look at top performers in any field. Do you think they wake up every day feeling motivated? Of course not. There are days when they're tired. Days when they're frustrated. Days when they don't feel like doing the work. But they do it anyway. Because they've learned a powerful lesson. Success doesn't come from motivation. Success comes from consistency. And consistency comes from discipline. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. Discipline doesn't care about your excuses. Discipline doesn't care whether you feel ready. It simply demands action. That's why discipline is so powerful. It keeps you moving forward even when motivation disappears. Imagine two people. The first person only works when they feel motivated. The second person works whether they're motivated or not. At the end of 1 year, who do you think will have achieved more? The answer is obvious. The disciplined person. Not because they're smarter. Not because they're more talented. But because they showed up more often. And success is simply the result of showing up consistently over time. Most people underestimate the power of small daily actions. They think success comes from massive breakthroughs. But in reality, success is built one day at a time. One workout. One chapter. One task. One decision. Repeated again and again. The person who improves by just 1% every day eventually becomes unstoppable. While everyone else is waiting for motivation, they're building momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. The hardest part is always getting started. But once discipline becomes a habit, everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You simply do the work. Whether you feel like it or not. Many people think discipline is restrictive. They think discipline takes away freedom. But the truth is the exact opposite. Discipline creates freedom. When you're disciplined with money, you gain financial freedom. When you're disciplined with your health, you gain physical freedom. When you're disciplined with your time, you gain control over your life. Without discipline, you're controlled by your impulses. You do whatever feels good in the moment. And those moments slowly shape your future. The life you live tomorrow is being built by the choices you make today. Every action matters. Every habit matters. Every decision matters. And that's why discipline is so important. The good news is that discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. You build it by doing difficult things consistently. You build it by taking action even when you don't feel like it. Start small. If you say you'll read for 10 minutes, do it. If you say you'll exercise for 20 minutes, do it. If you say you'll wake up early, do it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your discipline. And every time you strengthen your discipline, you strengthen your future. At the end of the day, motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days it will be there. Some days it won't. But discipline is different. Discipline stays. Discipline works on the good days and the bad days. Discipline works when you're excited and when you're exhausted. Discipline works when nobody is watching. And that's why discipline will always beat motivation. Because the life you want won't be built by moments of inspiration. It will be built by daily action. By consistency. By commitment. By discipline. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today. Take one action. Then another. And another. Because your future doesn't depend on how motivated you feel. It depends on what you do, even when you don't feel like doing it. And that's the true power of discipline.